thousands of miles to this country. I should be able to get a good job. Yes, people come here and get the job on the first day. Some people get jobs before they come. Some people, it takes them a year, 2 years. But that doesn't mean that everybody's story is going to be the same, right?
Girl, I see your face everywhere. When I'm going out, you'll be there.
Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. I am happy to see you all back here again today. It has been a week, like a hell of a week. So many things have happened this week. I even got to a point where I contemplated not putting out a video today, but I just thought, why not? I have had a lot of people ask me a lot of questions this week, and I just felt that there was one reoccurring question that I needed to just do a video on. And I said, why not put yourself together, come out here and just, give you the information that you need. And if it's the first time of seeing my face, hi, my name is Obey. I'm a mom, a social worker, and a content creator based in Regina, Saskatchewan, Canada. And on today's video, the question I have been getting a lot that I have decided to talk about today is, are there jobs in Canada? Are there jobs in Canada? If you live in Canada, tell me in the comment section, do you think that there are jobs in Canada? Well, if you ask me to answer that question in one word, I'll tell you yes, there are jobs in Canada. It all depends on the kind of job you're looking for, the kind of qualification you have, and where you're looking. Yeah, where you're looking. You could have all the qualifications and you're just looking in the wrong place. Or you could be looking in the right place but do not have the qualification for the job. Or maybe you're not just selling yourself well. So, have you asked yourself what the issues are? On today's video, I'm just going to be highlighting the stuff that could be hindering you from getting a job. I'm not an expert, no, but I'm just talking based on my experience. Like, if you have been on this channel for a while, you will know that I've lived in America, I lived in UK, and now I live in Canada. So I have like enough experience in the job market in the Western organization or in the Western world to tell you what you could be lacking that is making you not land the job as fast as possible. When you're moving into a new country and you're new in the terrain, there's one thing that I would say to you: do not have too high of an expectation, right? I know people will say, oh, if I move all the way thousands of miles to this country, I should be able to get a good job. Yes, people come here and get the job on the first day. Some people get jobs before they come. Some people, it takes them a year, 2 years. But that doesn't mean that everybody's story is going to be the same, right? You just do your best and, be hopeful that you get a job, as fast as you can. Now, but there are some things that you have to do to kind of put yourself in a good space for you to land a job. One of the things that I think that people do not consider when they are moving into a country is the city. If you're in a city that is very big, where you have lots of people and there's lots of competition, you might not be able to get a job as fast as you're supposed to. Now, say for example, you live in Ontario. There are so many people in Ontario, and if you go to Indeed and you see a job that is posted in Ontario, in a day, 2 days, you have like 600 applicants, 800 applicants, and you are one person also trying to get a job, the same role, and you have so many people that are on that role with you. It can limit your opportunity of getting that job. But look at small cities like Regina, Saskatoon, Calgary. There are not so many people, applying on the same role. Do you understand what I mean? You have more chances. So yeah, the city you live in might just be like one of the hindrances. Maybe you are in competition with so many people, or maybe you said to yourself that I'm just going to look for a job within Ontario. I'm not going to look for a job anywhere else. I just want to be in Ontario. I'm going to look for a job in Ontario. Or you're saying to yourself that, oh, I'm living in Saskatoon. It's only in Saskatoon I'm looking for jobs. I'm not going anywhere else. Things like that can be limiting you from getting a job. So sometimes I would say, you know, I believe that if you move into a country, if you are not maybe for some reason stuck in a particular city, the more availability you give to yourself, the more open you are to your choices, the easier it is for you to land a job. Another thing that could be hindering people from getting a job is that, say, for example, in your home country, you were a manager in the bank. and you say to yourself that I'm not going to do another job if it's not a managerial role, I'm not going to take any job that is not a managerial role, it might limit you from getting a job early. Now, for me, I am a social worker, right? I have a master's degree in social work. But when I was applying, I applied for master's level roles as well as bachelor level roles. I got an interview in the master's level role. But after doing the interview, the interviewer gave me a feedback saying, oh, you need more experience on the job. You need to do more certification for you to be able to get this job. Now, that feedback I took with me, and I'm still working on myself to make sure that when next I'm applying for that job, I am qualified enough to get that job. But that doesn't stop me from applying for a bachelor's level job as well. Now I've applied for a bachelor's level job and I got the job and I'm doing the job. I'm happy with the job. It's paying my bills. It's making me comfortable. I'm happy. I'm fulfilled where I am. But that doesn't mean that I'm going to stay here. I'm still going to make sure I do those things I need to do to be able to get myself the master's level job. And that's what I would suggest that you also consider doing. You know, don't just get stuck in saying I'm not going to do anything if it's not a managerial role. Just, apply for the roles where you feel that you have the experience in. And who knows, if you apply for a lower level job and you go for the interview, you might just be very lucky and the interviewer might see you that you are over experienced for the job that you're applying for and offer you something um, better than what you've applied for. Now, I'll give you an example. I know someone who applied for a lower level job in an organization, and because he interviewed very well, he got the higher level job. He was offered the higher level job. So, yes, things like that can happen. Do you understand? So I just feel like be open, spread your tentacles, be open. When you apply for jobs on Indeed, most times you'll see that they would have written all the qualifications they need. They'll tell you the skills that they expect the candidate that is going to be employed to have. Now, when you look at those things, think of what you have and look at what you are missing and work towards getting those things you are missing. If you're able to make your resume and your cover letter, you know, as clear as possible, you don't have to just put so many things into your cover letter or in your resume. Make sure that it is in line with the job you're applying for. For example, if you're applying for a banking job, and you're putting experiences from, say, you last year you were working in a care home, this year you're working in Walmart, next year, like, it is just all over the place. Try and make it as concise as possible, tailored to the particular job that you are applying for. That way it's relatable. The HR sees it and it's relatable, and they kind of see that you have the experiences that is required on the job. Now, when you go for interviews, they ask you questions that are situational. They want to see how you've been able to tackle challenges in your previous job. They want to see the strategies that you've used in achieving your results in your previous job. So you should be able to do that in your resume, in your cover letter. Sell yourself in a way that you are showing them the soft skills that you have that are transferable on the job. Also, you have to have in your resume things that show your person, who you are. Are you a team player? Do you have good communication skills? Do you have good interpersonal relationship with people? Stuff like that. Make sure that you put them in your resume, and make it clear to the HR specialist that you are a good fit for the job. Now, if the requirements they need for the job, the certifications or the degrees that they need for the job, do not have them, do not be scared to go back to school. It is not easy. I'll tell you that for free. I went through a master's degree program while having two children and also working. It is not easy. But I tell you, working for only about 6 or 7 months, I have completely made the money I used to pay for my course. Yeah, so when you're actually doing this course and you're trying to, read and prepare for it, it might seem like a hurdle that is too high to climb. But at the end of the day, when you get your results, you find out that you don't even remember all the stress you went through when you were trying to do the course in the first place. So don't be scared. Even if you fail, even if it takes you 4 or 5 times to do the exam for you to pass, I tell you, it's only when you are doing it that you feel it. When you are spending the money, you won't even remember anymore. I know someone who had to write PLAB 5 times to be able to become a registered doctor in the UK. I know someone who had to write pharmacy licensing examination in Canada for about 4 times for her to be able to pass the exams. But now she's a pharmacist. I'm sure she must have forgotten all those nights when she was crying and struggling to read and all that. That's just the way it is. Don't be worried about, like, don't lose hope. Don't lose that momentum to, keep pushing. It might seem difficult in the beginning, but if you try, you definitely get the result. Where you fail is when you stop trying. But as long as you keep trying, you definitely get the result. When you write examinations, the results usually come giving you a breakdown of your scores and where you were lacking. And if you look at that, you'll be able to tell where you were struggling, and in the next exam you'll prepare better, and then you'll be able to pass it. So don't lose hope, just keep it going. I know when I did my masters, I know what I went through. I know how you know the pain, the sleepless nights, going to the library and all that. But today, look at me. I'm done with it. It's behind me. Yes, I have other ones in front of me, but I know that when it's time to do it, I'll put my mind to it. Even if I fail, I'm not going to lose hope. I'm going to continue pushing until I get to where I want to get to. So, yeah. Another thing is, if you've tried everything, you've written a good cover letter, you've done a good resume, you've put yourself strategically in the place where you feel like you should be getting a job, and you are still not getting a job, check your social media. What's your social media saying? Now, I'll give you an example. Sometimes you see on LinkedIn, some people would have written that, oh, they have gone to school in the UK and were in the UK from 2020 to 2022. And then you go to their Facebook and you see that in 2020 they were in Lagos. They were tagging themselves in Lagos, or tagging themselves in Korea or Istanbul and all that, or wherever. When you do that, this HR specialist, they Google you, they check your Facebook, they check your Instagram, they check your social media. So whatever it is that you're putting in your resume, make sure it is aligned with what is in your LinkedIn. Yeah, make sure you do that. That everything is in sync. You cannot be portraying yourself as a professional on LinkedIn and then your social media handle has a different thing about you. So people don't think that social medias are checked, but in this day and age where people put everything out in social media, those HR specialists go and check you before they see you. Like, they go and check you, try to make sure that this person is employable, this person has a good standing in the society or in the community before they call you for interview. So yeah, that also can be hindering. Try and check that. Make sure that everything looks good when you're applying for jobs, so that one thing will not be biting you and depriving you from getting where you want to be. Now, you have done your resume, you are in a small city, your social media is clean, everything looks good, but you are not still getting a job. Don't be scared to do survival jobs. Yeah, do not be scared to do survival jobs. I have done my fair share of survival jobs. I have done delivery jobs before, I have done care jobs before, but that doesn't change who I am. At the time I was doing the job, I was, not happy with where I was, but I kept pushing, kept preparing myself for where I want to be. That is what I expect that people should do. If you are doing a survivor job, let it be a stepping stone to where you want to be. Keep pushing, have your goal, and chase your goal. When I was doing the survivor jobs, I will tell you, sometimes I will be out for hours and hours and hours trying to put the time in just to make ends meet, and at the same time preparing for my future. But now all those things are stories to me. And yes, yours can be story as well. As long as you keep striving, keep pushing, keep doing what it is that you're doing. You have a plan, you're following your plans. If it's examinations you need to write those examinations. If there are things that you need to do, get those things going. Put yourself, have a timeline, and make sure you're following through your timeline. You can live in Canada and thrive in Canada. You don't have to come to Canada and struggle. People will tell you, oh, Canada, that is not rosy on the other side. You say you're coming here for greener pasture, but you struggle, you don't get a job. People are also landing good jobs. It just depends on how well you push yourself and continue to strive. Fingers are not equal. Some people make it faster than the other, but doesn't mean everybody will not be okay. At the end of the day, we go all day okay. Everybody will be fine. Some people it might take them a couple of years to settle in properly. And some people might just hit the ground running, but doesn't mean that is the end of the world, right? So just keep pushing, keep forging ahead, have a plan, pray to God, and at the end of the day, you'll be able to, testify in church if that's what you want to do. So yeah, basically, I just want you to know that there's job in Canada. It's just you being able to, put yourself in a strategic position and have a timeline and prepare yourself to achieving what you want to achieve. So anyway, guys, we've come to the end of today's video. I have just kind of like shared a few of the things that I know, hoping that you pick something from it. And like I always say, if you have any questions that you want to ask, do well to send me an email, and I'll be looking forward to your emails. Also, in the comment section, if there's anything that you feel like people can do, or things that you've experienced in your job search that help you to land a job fast, kindly put it in the comment section, and people will be looking out there. I also will be looking out there to read from you. Thank you very much for stopping by again. Thank you for watching today's video. And until we see you on my next one, have a nice day.
I can't take no more. I miss your touch from your hands and your body. It hurts so much to think of you as someone else. Can't get enough when you're sweet talking to me. Now I'm talking sweet all by myself. Put your arms around